Welcome to Medical Student Life in Japan, a podcast created by a teacher and a group of medical students at Nara Medical University.
We are a small medical college in the Kansai region of Japan. This podcast has two great purposes.
One is to share stories about being a medical student here in Japan.
And also for our students to share fun ideas, opinions, and information about Japanese culture to people all over the world.
Thanks a lot for listening. Welcome back to Medical Student Life in Japan. And today I bring you a very special guest. In fact, this isn't his first visit to the podcast, but it has been quite a long time. Itsuki, hello, how are you?
Yeah, hello, Michael. I'm really happy to see you again in the podcast.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think it was when you were a third-year student.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, last time?
It's been 2 years.
2 years, yeah. And that 2 years went by so quickly, didn't it? Yeah. So 2 years ago, Itsuki came on and he shared his stories. In fact, for our listeners, I think that's one of our top 3 episodes of all the ones we've recorded. So I think the audience really enjoyed hearing your stories.
Oh.
At the time, you talked about, some of the things you were studying, your hobbies as well, and then even you were dealing with the cadavers. So you talked about some of that, which was really interesting. But it's been 2 years. And what have you been up to since we last spoke?
During these last 2 years, I have experienced a lot of things as a student doctor. In the 4th year of the medical class, I learned at the university's hospital, and I met some patients, and we researched some cases of the disease of patients. And we also had the practice of the presentation in front of the professor of each department of the university.
Oh, so you had to give a presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in the 4th year, you visit the hospital, and could you talk about that a little bit in detail? So what is the purpose of that, and which for example, which departments did you visit? Were there any departments that you really enjoyed? Or were there any departments that you can see yourself maybe joining in the future?
Okay. In the practice, we learned as a student doctor, as I said, and in that practice, in some departments, we could meet the patients, and we could go to the bedside of the patients.
Oh, cool.
And we also made some interview to the patients about what kind of disease the patients are worried about, and the time course of the patient's therapy. And after that, we wrote a report about the patients, and we told about what is going on the patient's body and what kind of therapy is needed for the patients in front of the other professor and the teacher. But unfortunately, because of the COVID-19, we couldn't meet all the patients in each department.
I see. Yeah. So a lot of limitations over the last couple of years. Is it getting better now? Are there more opportunities now?
I think
it's still pretty restricted.
I think from this year, the opportunity is getting more and more.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. But unfortunately for you, a good portion of your education has been during the pandemic. So maybe you missed out on a few things. But was there a particular department that you really enjoyed learning about, or you maybe were very curious about?
I'm very interested in the department of the general medicine in the university. In the practice of general medicine faculty, we met the patients and we did the interview towards them, and we and then through the interview, we guessed what kind of disease the patient is suffering from.
Oh, okay.
So it was very difficult, but
Yeah.
for us, it is good experience
Mm.
for future learning.
Yeah. Were you ever able to guess correctly?
We could guess some types of disease, which is a part of the autoimmune disease.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
But there is a lot, millions kind of autoimmune disease in
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
So we guess the disease name from the symptoms of the patients, and we also pointed out the characteristics of the patient's looks. For example, the looks of the skin or their eyes. And lastly, we found that the patient is suffering from some inflammation on the kidneys, which is caused by the autoimmune system.
I see. Oh, okay. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, I know, besides the podcast, we spoke several times, although not much in the last year or two. And I remember one time we were chatting about hay fever, so the pollen allergy. And before moving to Japan, I never suffered from any symptoms, but I've been here a long time, and as you know, a lot of people in Japan suffer from the pollen allergy. Not surprisingly, because there's so many of these trees giving off a pollen. And eventually it's affected me. So I remember us talking about what we should do, right, to eliminate or reduce. And we talked about diet. Remember, we were talking about different diets and
diet therapy
for
the allergy.
Yeah. So this year wasn't so bad. I'm not sure what I did right, but yeah, I'm always thinking about that. So if you in the future, if you learn of any good tricks as a doctor, please let me know.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the allergic disease also. So I'm really interested in the studying about the mechanism of the pollen allergy or other autoimmune disease.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you could come up with some kind of solution for that, you might win the Nobel Prize. For how many people are dealing with autoimmune diseases these days, and of course allergies. It seems like more and more and more.
I also I'm also agree with your opinion that the patient who suffers from some kinds of allergic disease or autoimmune disease is increasing.
Yeah, it seems to be that way.
Yeah,
right?
and we learned about the therapy of the autoimmune disease or allergy too.
I see.
But nowadays, most of the autoimmune disease is treated by the steroid.
Oh, okay.
That is because the steroid has effect of declining the autoimmune function in the body. But there is some opinion that steroid is used for many autoimmune disease because they couldn't find the critical therapy instead of the steroid.
I see. Okay.
Steroid is used broadly in the world, but there is some side effect from steroid. But they haven't found effective therapy other than steroid.
Oh, okay, so maybe in the future, you might be the one who finds another therapy. That's great.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too. I mean, you're a great student, so I can see that happening. How about besides visiting the hospital, anything else interesting that you've been doing at school?
Let's see. These days, last 2 weeks, I had the exam for the checking the learning level during the practice at the hospital.
I see.
Yeah, it's just very tough for me.
Yeah. You had just finished the exams?
We have just finished the exam.
Okay.
We haven't received the result yet.
Okay, so you're waiting. Do you think you did well?
Maybe, but for us, it is this in some subject I felt it was very difficult.
Okay, yeah. Well, I know you study hard, so I'm sure you did well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I hope for your success. Besides study, anything else going on? Any new developments? have you taken any trips or new
Oh.
hobbies or?
Now I'm not sure it's kind of hobby,
Mm.
but now I'm trying to making a habit of working out,
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay. Some muscle training.
muscle training.
Nice.
Mm.
Okay.
Because during the pandemic,
Yeah.
I'm a little scared of going outside, so and I couldn't have the opportunity to have exercise.
Yeah.
So, but it is winter, so I'm researching some kind of exercise what we can even in our house.
Mm. And what have you been doing so
Now
far?
I'm doing the
Push-ups?
push-ups or squats.
Oh, squats. Okay.
Squats.
Yeah.
In order to make the muscle of the legs
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah. Squats are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is very good for, it is very good for a doctor to doing squats
Yeah.
regularly,
Yeah.
because many doctors, for many doctors, they spend time sitting the chair in the most of
Looking
their
at
days.
reports and sitting at the computer and
So
yeah.
the declining the function of the leg is is a big risk for them.
Yeah. Well, you know what I recommend? Because I feel the same way, even though as a teacher, we do luckily get to move around the classroom. That's one reason I like teaching is, I'm not just sitting at a desk. I'm moving around the classroom, talking to students. So I get some exercise that way. But when I'm not in the classroom in my office, before I would just be sitting in the chair, and I also felt the same things that you're talking about. So that's why I switched to the standing desk.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So in the future, if you have your own office or whatever, I highly recommend the standing desk because that allows you to kind of keep your legs strong. And the one that I have, of course, there's many of these, but it's adjustable, so I can bring it down. If I do need to sit down and take a break, I can do that. But the majority of the time, I like to work standing. And then, sometimes I also do some squats. Yeah, just to take a little break from computer work. I might do some squats or, at least you can kind of stretch out a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think, it's really important that the doctor stays healthy, right? If you're dealing with patients. So you're constantly coming across other people's sicknesses and you need to stay healthy so that you can.
Yeah, for the doctors, they have to stay healthy in order to keeping the eye on their patients.
Right. So that's a good idea. So I'm looking forward to see your training results. Yeah. I also like to do some too. Push-ups are good, squats are good. That's great. And then do you have any holidays coming up?
Now
get some time off from university?
Now I come to university to take the classes.
But at least you get a few days off. Are you doing anything special for the holiday?
I haven't decided yet, but I will see my friends from high school.
Oh, cool. Reunion party?
Yeah. And some of my friends have already started his working career. So
okay, because I would assume if they didn't go into medicine, maybe only 4 years of university, right?
So it is very rare for us to have a reunion party regularly.
Yeah.
And one of my friends is working at Tokyo's company.
Oh, okay.
So it is very happy for me to see them.
Oh, that'll be fun. You go out to dinner or something?
We'll have lunch and after that we'll go to karaoke or something.
That'd be fun.
And after that, one of my friends have to go back to Tokyo. So we will leave. We will go back to our home maybe until the night. Maybe by night.
Yeah, I see. Oh, sounds good. Yeah. I think the same for me, class until Friday. So kind of same as you, not so many days off, but I'll make sure to also relax and have some fun with my family. And well, anyways, Itsuki, why don't we finish up here for this time. It was great seeing you. Thanks for joining the podcast, and
Thank you very much.
please come again.
Mm.
And maybe before you graduate, we
Yeah.
can have another chat.
Yeah, I'm very looking forward to see you on the podcast again.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank
See you
you
next
very
time.
much.